गुरु गौरांग बंदाय गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यारूप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुकर शुक्र भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यारूप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुकर शुक्र भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यावत विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुक्र भक्ति वेदांत साई महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यावत विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुक्र भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यावत विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुक्र भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यावत विष्णु महाभागवत श्री भोक्षरस बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्यावत विश्व शिव सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यावत विश्व वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गुरु गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जी गोपाल भगदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप रामदाय राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पाशाद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विरक्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुनि देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी बिंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पुण्यवासी जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति पददेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासारि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees. You see Ganga Mataji, I'm guessing in Deva Mataji, Vaseshwari Mataji. I don't know who else is there. Maybe Rohini Nandan Prabhu. Yeah. So I made a poll in our WhatsApp group just a little like an hour and a half ago, and I asked what I should read today. If we should conclude Bhajanahasya, the second chapter, or if we should just continue reading from this book, our Śrīla Prabhupāda friend to all. And I didn't get many votes. I got a few votes though that said our Śrīla Prabhupāda friend to all, which is good for me because then I don't need to think. Right now I am in, very full-on songbook mode right now. There's so much to do, and so that's where my mind's at right now. Actually, if at the end of the reading, maybe I'd like to get your feedback on the introduction that we wrote. So maybe I could read that at the end. But yeah, let's begin. So what did we read yesterday? Just looking here. I think we read from, I'm just looking here. What was it? Okay, so yesterday we read Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj, Umadiri's sister, Srimati Gargi Devi, and Srila Damodar Maharaj. I think it's Bhakti Prapanna Damodar Maharaj, but I don't know for sure. And I think that's all we read, right? Oh no, I think we also read Shriman Krishnadas Prabhu as well. So I guess we'll just continue on. We'll read from Srila Bhakti Bhagavad Puri Goswami Maharaj. And yeah, let's just see where we get. Interesting is OBL Kapoor here. Oh, I know. Srila Bhakti Bhagavad Sagar Maharaj. I've been to his a few times to see him. He wrote an offering for Guru. Okay. Hari Bol and Hare Krishna. All right, what should we type in? I'll just copy this. Okay. Srila Bhakti Vaibhav, hold on a second. Okay, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj was born in 1912. He received Harinam initiation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and Diksha from Srila Bhakti Sarvasva Giri Maharaj. He is Acharya for the Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mission Gaudiya Math. So he said, I first met Srila Swami Maharaj in Kolkata. He was living in his family home at Sita Kanta Banerjee Lane. This was in the early 1940s, around 1943, when he was maintaining his medicine shop, distributing formulas he had discovered. I was sometimes going there to that address with Sridhar Maharaj and Keshav Maharaj and our Asha Maharaj. We went there collecting for Navadip and for other business. That is when I was introduced to him. Even in those early days, he told me about his future program for visiting America. He showed us the books he wrote on the Bhagavat and his magazine, Back to Godhead. We talked about many topics and we associated together in those years until 1946 or so. He often asked me if I would go with him to America. He wanted me to leave the institution and become the sub-editor of his paper. I told him that because I was a part of the institution and also so young, I did not want to go to the foreign countries. In 1948, I was sent by Srila Tirtha Maharaj, that's Kunja Babu, Kunja Bihari, to the Ramananda Gaudiya Math on the Godavari River to be the temple president there. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada had installed the footprints of Mahaprabhu there in 1932. Some years after this, Srila Swami Maharaj took the sannyas order from Keshav Maharaj in Mathura. He left India from the Radha Damodar temple in 1965, and I did not meet with him again until he returned from the Western countries. In 1971, he came to our Raja Mundri temple. I had wanted him to come to open the temple, so I had written to him asking him to come. He wrote me back a letter that I still have here, agreeing to come. He also wrote that of almost all his godbrothers, I was appreciating his preaching. Then he came to a celebration with some students, some sannyasis and brahmacharis. He stayed for 1 week. They also came to Vishakhapatnam, and he inaugurated our temple. For 20 days, he stayed here with many of his senior students, but I don't remember all their names. Haribol Nandanandan Prabhu and Manjari Didi. Glad you're liking the readings. Cool. So after this, Srila Swami Maharaj asked us to come back to Mayapur with him to attend the foundation laying ceremony, which I helped to perform. He was inviting all of his godbrothers in Mayapur, and I helped him at that time. Many came and saw the festival and attended the big feast. He received them, but then some of them complained because he had accepted Prabhupada's title. He told them how somehow he had allowed the students to call him that name, but it was an old issue, and what to do now. We discussed this afterwards, and I told some of the godbrothers they should accept his name in light of all the service he has done in the world. Others in our lineage had taken that name, so what is the difference? When they all departed, prasad was distributed along with 1 book, cloth, and 5 rupees. Krishnadas Babaji was also present. I stayed there for 7 days. Swami Maharaj requested our Ananda Prabhu to help in Mayapur with the cooking. Ananda Prabhu spent 2 years there with Maharaj, as I had asked him. He was very strict, but could not deal successfully with the Western disciples, and he left. Srila Swami Maharaj once asked me to speak to Vishwanath Das, our old friend, who was at our village for 7 days. He was chief minister from the Brahmin community. Swami Maharaj wanted his disciples to be allowed to enter the Jagannath temple in Puri. He gave me 1 Krishna book, which I gave to Vishwanath. I asked him to please see if some change could be adopted there. However, he was not a strong chief minister. He said he would simply try, but it was not done, and he died. I saw Swami Maharaj another time when we all came to Kolkata for some big meetings. In 1977, we traveled with many pilgrims to Madhav Maharaj's temple in Badri Narayan. Srila Swami Maharaj was staying for some time near Rishikesh. I went there along with Ashram Maharaj and some others. He was lying on the bed and was very glad to see us. One disciple, Hamsadutta Das, had written an article condemning a doctor scientist in Lanka who was an atheist. Even though Srila Swami Maharaj was lying down in weak health, we were all laughing. We took prasad and returned back. Once I said to him, Maharaj, you should survive for 10 more years. He answered, how can I survive? You see my pulse. I saw that his pulse was not moving. I said, unless you stay, these Western disciples won't unite. They are strong-headed and they will fight. You must put them in line with our tradition. Previously, I said, Maharaj, you've established some gurus, but guru must be one. He said, I have not selected. Only Ritviks to act in my place now. Sorry, I have not selected. Only Ritviks to act in my place now. And then I said, after your demise, they will be gurus. Unless you bless a guru to sit on the Vyasasan, they must go down. He said, what to do? Everything is Krishna's will. Then, after some time in Vrindavan, he passed away. He gave so much time and life breath to serve his institution. No one else has done so much to improve our institution throughout this world. Sorry, no one else has done so much to improve our institution throughout this world. He received Sri Guru and Gauranga's blessings. Once he said, it is all my Prabhupada's blessings. I have done my duty. Now the rest of it depends upon the Lord. He labored hard. No other could do as he did in the foreign countries. He taught everything, how to cook, how to clean, how to prepare everything, how to decorate, and how to print the books and include photos, book distribution. So much importance he placed on books. As our Prabhupada said, big volumes with cover pages he has invented. He possessed all devotional qualities. By his preaching in less than 10 years, there is no other example of anyone doing like this. By introducing Harinam in every town and village, he has indeed fulfilled the prediction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, now Shriman Devi Prasad Maskara. Shriman Devi Prasad Maskara, who has passed away since the time of this interview, was a businessman who lived in Kolkata. Devi Prasad Prabhu spoke with tears welling in his eyes. He said, I am 92 years old now, and I am suffering from some illness, so I am sorry that I cannot greet you properly. I remember my relationship with Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. I have never been able to forget him, although I knew him so many years ago, since 1927 in Kolkata. I was about 15 or 16 years old when I first met him. He was in his 30s at that time, a young household man. Abhay Charan Prabhu, as I called him, used to come to the Victoria Memorial every day for his morning walk. He was not famous at that time. He spoke with me every day when we walked together, and he would discuss spiritual topics with me. He was very friendly and very kind towards me. It was simply wonderful to see how he was doing bhakti with complete devotion and attentiveness to God. He used to tell me about the symptoms of bhakti, speaking from scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita. This was his main topic in discussions with me. He talked to me about Sankhya and Gyan Yoga, wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe those were the chapters of his book that he was translating at that time. The other thing he discussed was Karma Yoga. He talked about the two subjects very extensively with me during our walks and told me so many things about Krishna and Bhakti. He was a bhakta and was very inspiring and affectionate. He was a grahastha at that time, a businessman in Kolkata, and I recall how he wore sandals and had a chadar over his shoulders like a sannyasi. Very often, he told me how he had met his Gurudev and how his life would be transformed now. His guru had told him that he spoke English well, so he should go to the foreign countries and he should preach about Lord Krishna there. He told me he had made a solemn vow to do this. He did not have enough money to go to America, and many times he consulted with me, asking, how will I go? Many years later, I heard that the owner of a steamer company gave him free passage to America. He once told me the qualification of God. He said, "He is the supreme absolute being. Although he is a person, he is full of luster like the sun, far from the darkness of ignorance. By knowing him alone, one can leave behind death. There's no other path of attainment to salvation." His words went deep into my heart. Over 70 years later, I still remember his words. Now that I am closely approaching the time of my own death, his presence in preaching has come to me, and I do not feel any pain or fear. This is the potency of such an exalted person. Nice. Whoa. So this is now Srila Madhav Das Babaji Maharaj. Sripad Madhav Das Babaji Maharaj, who has since passed away, was known to be 120 years old at the time of this interview in 1996. He lived on the Dwadasha Dhyatila, the hill on which the temple is built, in the old Madan Mohan Mandir, and in spite of his advanced age, was still able to keep up a schedule of regular activities. Okay. I recently met, it's the first time I ever met anybody from outside our line, actually, but it's Gauranga Das Babaji Maharaj, and I think he is a disciple of Madhav Das Babaji Maharaj. I think. Could be wrong. So in spite of his old age, they say 120 years, my God, he was still able to keep up a schedule of regular activities. Meaning, okay. So he said, "I met your Śrīla Prabhupāda a long, long time ago. Perhaps it was in the 1930s. He and his younger brothers stayed a week or two in a room here at the Madan Mohan Mandir. He told me it was his first visit to Vrindavan, and he didn't know anyone here. This was before his initiation in the Gaudiya Math. Of course, I saw him later when he lived here, and that is how I know him. But I'm speaking of the first time we met. Sometimes I brought him prasad, but I didn't really speak much with him. I only observed him. I will tell you what I observed because it was so remarkable. From the time he arrived until he left, he did not leave this hill. He did not go on parikrama. He did not go to temples for darshan. He did not go to the shops. He simply stayed here on this hill and chanted on his japamala. He did not look at anyone. He was totally absorbed in his chanting. I was impressed by his seriousness and sincerity. Most of the time, he would sit and chant, but often he would stand on the edge of our hill, looking out over the river Yamuna, the fields, and the parikrama marg down to Kaliya Ghat. He was absorbed in thinking of Krishna. Okay, and now the Allahabad years from the 1930s. First is Dr. O.B.L. Kapoor. Dr. O.B.L. Kapoor, who since the time of this interview has passed away, was a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was initiated in 1932. I met Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, Śrīla Prabhupāda, for the first time in 1932, while we were both in Allahabad. We used to go to the Rup Gaudiya Math, which was in the South Pulak area, to attend bhajan and kirtan. When I saw him there for the first time, he was playing mridanga in the kirtan. One day we were introduced to each other. We became good friends and would often meet at the Math, in fact, almost every day. Besides meeting there, Sometimes he came to my place, where we would discuss Harikatha and its application. I valued him very much in my life. At that time, I didn't have a guru yet. I had just passed out of the university, earning my MA. I was much younger than he, and that's why I would call him Abhayda. Da means older brother. He helped me and encouraged me in Krishna consciousness. Atulananda Brahmachari was also there during this time, and he was also a close associate of Abhaydas, being the manager of the Math. And that's Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, right? And so I remember that although Abhayda was a householder and had responsibilities of job and family, still he performed so much service for the temple, giving classes, kirtans, and preaching programs. We were both initiated by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu took Diksha at Sri Rupa Gaudiya Math in 1933, after waiting over 10 years to do so. We would often talk about our Gurudev, as disciples do. He was extremely dedicated to him. He told me many times that Gurudev had ordered him to preach in the West. He would often mention this with grave seriousness. At that time, in Allahabad, he appeared to be a humble, ordinary devotee. He treated me just like a good friend. He was a chemist. He used to sell medicines, and sometimes he would manufacture various original formulas. When he developed some tonic, he would offer it to me to sample. Once he had a tonic for brain concentration, which he suggested I use during my examinations in school. I did so, and it was quite successful. I said, Abhayda, I am happy you gave me this tonic, but why don't you give me the tonic that you use yourself? Which tonic is that? He asked. I replied, the tonic that helps you to be such an advanced Vaishnav, to give such wonderful Harikatha and Sankirtan, the tonic of Krishna Prem, which you use secretly. In a humble way, he smiled and said, oh, I am working on that, but I have not yet been able to procure it. He was indeed a very deep and sweet Vaishnav even then. But later he said one thing, which was an indication of his future plans for service to our Gurudev. He said, about that tonic we used to discuss, I have not yet been able to manufacture that tonic, but I do know the formula. I said, please let me know the formula if it's not a secret. At that time, he said, this is the formula. Tranad api sunichena, toror api sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. It's not a secret. Someday soon, I will preach it all over the world. That was over 60 years ago, but it indicated how he always had a definite plan. That foresight proved to be very accurate. Once I went with Śrīla Prabhupāda Bhakti Siddhanta to have the darshan of the Thakurs of the Gokulananda temple. The samadhi of Lokanath Goswami is there. Abhay Babu was there, and I recall how he bent down, and Gurudev also bent down, paying dandavats. I could see tears in the eyes of Guru Maharaj, and also in Abhay Das's eyes, because when he got up, he was wiping away many tears with his hands. So something touched him there at the samadhi of Lokanath Goswami in the close company of our Gurudev. I left Allahabad, and we were long separated. Much later, he took sannyas and went on with his preaching. We had not met for a long time. And then 30 years later, we met again when I saw him in the Radha Damodar temple after he had become famous. Immediately, he greeted me affectionately, without pretense. Though he was surrounded by his Western students, He introduced me with honor and brought me into his room to speak confidentially about all we had missed in those years apart. He did not usually accept private invitations for lunch and so on, but once I invited him, and he readily accepted. He came to my home and took prasad. He came with one of his disciples, his secretary. He liked the menu very much and said to my wife, "You are a very good cook." Then they began to discuss very knowledgeably about how everything was cooked. He was so kind and affectionate in his dealings with us. I saw Srila Swami Maharaj with some of our godbrothers occasionally, Srila Shira Maharaj twice at least. Swami Maharaj was close to Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj and Keshav Maharaj, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Narayan Maharaj, and others. I saw that generally his godbrothers were happy about Swami Maharaj's preaching around the world. Especially today, he extends gratitude for the work he has done. That is the supreme benefit. Swami Maharaj asked me to go with him to preach in the West and also in India, but I was not meant for that life. Our Gurudev asked me to serve the devotees by writing books. Srila Gurudev stressed this to me Srila Gurudev stressed this to be of more importance for me. These books are the moving drums, they are Brihad Mardanga. I dedicated my life to this service and did whatever I could. Swami Maharaj requested, I would be very happy if you joined us. And later on, he also tried to persuade me to accept the headmastership of his boys' school in Vrindavan. But I said I was sorry, I was too busy with other service and didn't have time to do that. I was really busy writing books, and that was what our Prabhupada had asked me to do. So I had to write back to him and refuse. He liked my writing very much and insisted that I should write articles for the Back to Godhead magazine. I have one of his letters now with me, wherein he said that this is first-class writing. He often wrote to me. I noticed that he was critical of those people who prematurely stress Ashtayam Lila, 24 hours remembering Lila. I recollect this. My Prabhupada also never encouraged this for beginners. He spoke against it, saying, Bhajan Kirtan. Kirtan Nam Yagya shall itself bring Lila to you. Do not try to imagine supernatural things. You go on doing japa, and japa will reveal everything. Generally, a devotee doesn't want to talk about experiencing these inner things with other people unless one is very close and in the same line. As far as I can recall, he didn't reveal or say anything specific about his inner experiences to me. But I felt sure he was receiving great mercy and connection. He used to do a lot of japa, that I saw. I feel certain he completed 1,64,000 rounds daily, always, for all the years I knew him. Chanting with or without beads, he would constantly be chanting. A few days before his disappearance, he was lying on his bed in Vrindavan, and I was sitting close to him. He was very beautiful then, very full of devotional sentiments. I know how Srila Swami Maharaj had great humility, because he softly said to me in a choked voice with tears in his eyes, Amar Prarthana Koriben. Amar Prarthana Koriben. Amar Jana Prarthana Koriben, I think. Anyways, please pray for me. Please excuse me of my faults. I don't know what he was hinting at, because I personally never saw any faults in him. And Haribol Vidyala Sabidi. Okay, so now Shripad Acharya Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Bhakti-Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj and has taken sannyas from Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. He resides at the Devananda Kodia Mutt in Navadvip. He recently passed away. I used to see him every day for just recently, like earlier this year, I was seeing him every day because I would park my bicycle outside his room and he'd usually be sitting in a chair there. So I'd offer pranams to him, and then I'd go to see Shaman Raj in his room. Did that every day for a few months. And but then just maybe a month ago, um, he passed away. And his samadhi right now is just next to Śrīla Prabhupāda's samadhi. I made videos and pictures about it. On the right side of Śrīla Prabhupāda's samadhi. So he said, I came to Allahabad to visit Swami Maharaj when he lives there. I was in the room with him when Srila Bhakti-Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj encouraged him. He said, you are more than a representative of material medicine. You are a paramarthik doctor. You are a transcendental doctor. You can heal people by giving them pure Krishna consciousness. This is the best use of your medicine. Really, you are a universal physician for the whole world. So you must take this cure out of India to the West. Maharaj told him that he was very qualified. He was a very qualified and lettered person. Lettered person, like literate, I guess. And thus, he must take sannyas and preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the West. Later, Swami Maharaj said how his Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, inspired him to take sannyas from our Gurudev and to sing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name throughout the whole world. Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj had inspired him by giving him sannyas. By taking sannyas, he was fully in the right situation to risk everything and going to the foreign countries. When Srila Swami Maharaj came to the Mutt in the early days, he was a grahasta and was very affectionate to the junior boys, Gurudev's young disciples. He would carry Mahaprasad with him and give out sweets to all those brahmacharis. He would encourage them to chant by telling them, if you chant this much, or if you chant very sincerely, then I will give you a sweet. He would constantly remind us to chant Hare Krishna. I recall him touching the feet of the brahmacharis. He was always very humble to those who were elder, and he always paid obeisances to those who were renunciates, especially the sannyasis. I saw him spending confidential time discussing Harikatha with Srila Bhakti-Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, reading and associating with him intimately. His godbrother, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, was also close with him. I remember him saying, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, you must go to the foreign countries with me. He very much wanted to take him, but Babaji Maharaj would say, oh no, I cannot leave Vrindavan or Navadvip Dham. My English is not so good, and I do not have that nature to go. This is something that keeps on coming up over and over again. He's asking everybody to go with the west, to the west of them. I am familiar with some history of Swami Maharaj when he left his home in Kolkata. He first stayed at the ashram of one of his godbrothers, Ati Dhanya Prabhu's father, who was a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and a godbrother of Swami Maharaj. He is no longer alive now. Swami Maharaj wrote 3 or 4 letters to me a long time ago, but unfortunately I did not keep them. I was a brahmachari then, and I remember he addressed me as my dear brahmachari, my dear brother. He told me how he wanted to make a township, a Vedic city in Sri Mayapur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada also made the Vishnu Priya colony like a city. As far as possible, he envisioned a Vedic city, not only like Vishnu Priya, but throughout the whole world. He wrote all this in his letters. When he first came back from America in 1967, he had only one final meeting with Śrīla Keshav Maharaj in Kolkata. Oh, I didn't realize that yet. He met with Param Gurudev after coming back from the West. That's so neat. They spoke together intimately and extensively, and that was their final Sangha together. Perhaps Srila Vaman Maharaj was at that meeting, but I was not there. When Swami Maharaj came to Navadip to visit us again in 1970, he said, "My disciples are having some difficulties here because they do not know the Indian culture. It is your duty to also help them." I saw him ask people at the Devananda Gaudiya Math, "Can you come and assist me with my disciples? They need to be cared for, so would you help to train them up, give them good guidance, and protect them?" He also asked me since I spoke some little English, and I tried to do so since he had requested me. He wanted us to inspire the foreign devotees to progress and mature. He said that it was difficult for the Westerners because they didn't know Varnashram, but they would make their lives successful if they tried. In 1967, he brought a tape recorder with him and a tape of many Western devotees singing Hare Krishna Kirtan to show us how this was actually happening. Everyone listened in amazement, and then he gave a lecture in the temple. He said that he had toured throughout the world, and he explained how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted the glories of his name chanted in every town and village. He said that this was Mahaprabhu's desire, and he must follow his words. I recall how Swami Maharaj expressing his deep realization. In the mornings and in the evenings, he led kirtan and singing of Gurvashtakam in front of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's altar with extraordinary feeling. On several occasions, I saw him weeping when he was singing Gurvashtakam. He was also overcome with emotion and shedding tears while he was singing Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. He would say, "Hey Radhe, Hey Krishna, Hey Madhav," with great feeling. When he stayed with us, he used to chant all night long until 11 or 12 o'clock or later. We saw that he only slept a very short time, 3 or 4 hours, and that he was writing and taking Harinam for the rest of the time. His visit inspired me. I was in my 30s then, and now I am 69. He told me, "You must take sannyas. Why are you not taking? Nobody knows who you are now, but when you take sannyas, you can go everywhere in India and throughout the whole world. I will also go." He strongly encouraged me to accept the sannyas order, saying, "I don't know how I would have preached around the world if Śrīla Keshav Maharaj had not encouraged me to take sannyas." He told me about Śrīla Narayan Maharaj, Śrīla Chavikram Maharaj, and Śrīla Vaman Maharaj, and he said that I was an educated boy, a very young person, and that I should also take sannyas like my godbrothers. As far as possible, I should take sannyas and preach Mahaprabhu's teachings throughout the world, as well as write and publish many books. I told him then that it was impossible for us to publish many books because we were short of money. But he answered, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You don't need to follow the money. It will follow you. Follow Krishna, not the money. Then all the money that is necessary will surely come to you." On one occasion, Srila Swami Maharaj wanted a current list of all the disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, along with their addresses. So I gathered that information and sent it to him. At that time, there were about 42 godbrothers and associates, and he wanted to contact all of them. He requested his godbrothers and their disciples for cooperation. He wanted this in his heart. He told me, anybody who is doing bhajan should always cooperate. There should be no envy. We wanted to assist, but there were not so many persons living in the Devananda Gaudiya Math then, perhaps 6 or 7 permanent devotees. We were very busy because we had just put together a publishing house, and Srila Narayan Maharaj was sick in the hospital with heart trouble. Swami Maharaj met with some of his godbrothers in Mayapur at that time. He always requested Srila Śrīla Maharaj to give lectures and offered honor to him. Sridhar Maharaj also offered service to him, especially when Swami Maharaj had sent some disciples to his mat for a few months. Shanta Maharaj visited, and so did Asha Maharaj and Janardhan Maharaj. When he invited everyone to the opening of the Chandradoy Mandir, he gave one of his English translations of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita to Srila Vaman Maharaj, who was the only senior member from the Devananda Gaudiya Mat at that function. I also came to help him when some miscreants entered his temple in Mayapur. Many devotees came from the various Gaudiya Mats and held a procession. Swami Maharaj was not present then, only his disciples. We informed Mr. Mukherjee at the police station of the situation. We had 4 of ISKCON's members stay here to be safe. Our mood was that we must protect them because they were foreigners. Then a case was started alleging that one of the ISKCON members was a murderer. It was our duty to defend them. Otherwise, ISKCON would have been attacked again by the miscreants. I spoke to the police and explained how it was self-defense. In the end, everything was resolved, and Srila Swami Maharaj was satisfied with us all. Oh, I never heard about that. Interesting. Okay. All right, so now it is 7:54, so I think we can end here for today. Oh, yeah. So I was wondering if we wrote an introduction the other day to the Gaudiya Giti Puja, and I was wondering if I could read it. There's only a few people here now, but yeah, if you could give your feedback for the songbook, that would be very nice. Let me just find it. 1 second. It's here. Where is it? New songs. Front matter. I think this is the latest file. Yeah, from a couple of days ago. Okay, so with the songbook, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so with the songbook, there's going to be what we're going to do is in the introduction, we're going to have pictures of on the side of the page. Instead of having like full page put out pictures, we'll have pictures on the side of the text so that you're reading and then you're seeing images as you're reading, like little tiny pictures of our Guru Parampara. So it begins with the current of Gaudiya Kirtan. Although kirtan has been performed throughout the ages, Prem Nam Kirtan, which awakens our eternal relationship with Sri Krishna, was inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just 500 years ago. So then we'll have an image of Mahaprabhu on the left side of the page. Day and night, Sriman Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Shri Radha Krishna combined, relished the kirtans and verses sung by his intimate associates, Sri Sarup Damodar and Sri Ramananda Rai. His principal instruction was Kirtaniya Sada Hari, always perform kirtan of Sri Hari. Sriman Mahaprabhu's foremost follower, Śrīla Rupa Goswami, composed stotras and songs in eloquent Sanskrit, many of which are preserved in his Stavamala. These prayers, along with his other writings, fulfilled and expressed the inner moods of Sriman Mahaprabhu and revealed the elevated and immaculate path of Raganuga Bhakti. Following Śrīla Rupa Goswami to perfection, Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami further enriched this treasury of Sanskrit stavas with his Stavavali. These prayers reveal the heart of a Rupanuga Vaishnava, demonstrating how to follow Śrīla Rupa Goswami in the deepest sense. Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur appeared in the next generation. He made these lofty Rupanuga conceptions more accessible by delivering them in the Bengali vernacular through his Sri Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. So treasured are these works that later acharyas recommended studying them daily as the key to awakening Krishna Prem. 2 generations later, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur appeared in the line of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Revered as a manifestation of Srila Rupa Goswami, he expounded Rupa Goswami's teachings in works like Savamrita Lahari and Kshanada Gita Chintamani, the first anthology of Vaishnav songs in Sanskrit, Bengali, and Bhojpuri. There he gathered more than 300 songs by 45 poets and added 51 songs of his own under the pen name Hari Vallabh. Then, in the 19th century, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who authored nearly 100 works in Sanskrit, Bengali, Oriya, Hindi, Urdu, and English, created a revolution of kirtan, his songs forming the heart of kirtan practice in the Saraswat Gaudiya line. In works such as Kalyana Kalpataru, Sharanagati, Hitavali, and Gitamala, which were composed mostly in Bengali, he opens the door for people of all varieties of spiritual attainments and backgrounds to become immersed in all aspects of Gaudiya Vaishnava practices, conceptions, and moods. Fulfilling the desire of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada established the Gaudiya Math, the many branches of which, to this day, maintain a dedicated practice of singing these songs and prayers on a daily basis. He empowered an army of transcendental emissaries to spread Sri Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement far and wide. A foremost disciple of Srila Saraswati Thakur, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, composed kirtans that are esoteric and instructive, imparting the lofty tenets and very essence of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Another of Srila Saraswati Thakur's leading disciples, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Śrīla Prabhupāda, brought the blissful waves of Gaudiya Kirtan to America in 1965, and from there to nearly every country on the planet, thus fulfilling Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction that one day people the world over, both Indians and Westerners, will joyfully dance together in the ecstasy of Kirtan. In more recent times, Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, with great specificity, brought focus to the precious jewels within the depths of Gaudiya literature and Kirtan, so as to fortify one's understanding of the highest goal and fix one on the path of attaining it. He stated that the prayers of conditioned souls are full of mixed desires and ulterior motives, whereas the prayers of our acharyas were abodes of mercy and are free from any material tinge. They are free from any material tinge. Singing the songs they wrote delivers the greatest benefit. Shri Gaudiya Gitikucha, a bouquet of Gaudiya songs. To guide practitioners in choosing the most suitable kirtans for each occasion, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj masterfully wove together collections of songs, not only according to topic, but according to the type of kirtan, such as prayers for mercy, entreaties, prayers full of longing, and glorification. He thus titled this book, Shri Gaudiya Giti Gucha. Giti means songs, and Gucha means cluster. These songs have been clustered according to topic in a most beautiful way, like a bouquet of flowers. This English edition. Let me know if anything is not totally clear, like if anything doesn't make sense to you, or yeah, I'd really like to get feedback for this. Oh, and Vidyalala said, yes, I can share the PDF in the group, yes. Okay, so while the spirit of the Giti Gucha has been preserved in this English edition, the arrangement of the songs differs from that in previous editions, in which songs were arranged first by language, Bengali, Sanskrit, Hindi, and then by tattva, Guru, Vaishnava, Panchatattva, etc. In this edition, the songs are first categorized according to tattva, and within each tattva, they are then arranged by language. This has been done to simplify the structure. Several songs have been added that were not in the Bengali and Hindi editions, and some songs from those editions have not been included here. A full list of differences can be found in the appendix, page, whatever. Numbered titles in chapters the numbered titles in chapters such as Shikshashtak and Instructions to the Mind have been added by the editors to give a clear overview of the topic of each song. Most other subsection titles are taken directly from the original Bengali Giti Gucha. I made tons of titles throughout this book because I just thought it's nice to get an overview of the whole chapter. And you know, all the songs that are, you get the gist of all the songs that are in the chapter. So yeah, it's like tons and tons of that. The arrangement of kirtans and daily practice. In temples, when devotees gather for morning and evening kirtan, they generally follow the sequence that corresponds with the order of the first 6 chapters of this book, and they conclude with the chanting of the Mahamantra. So there's first, devotees sing Mangalacharan, then songs to Shri Guru, to the Vaishnavas, Panchatattva, particularly Shri Nityananda Prabhu, then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna, and then Shri Radha. Our acharyas emphasize that it is especially beneficial to sing songs imbued with the mood of surrender, such as those found in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati, page blah, blah, blah. The above 6 tattvas, which comprise the first 6 chapters, also appear throughout the later chapters. The subheading, Additional Songs in the Table of Contents, refers to songs on the same topic that appear elsewhere in the book. Yeah, throughout the table of contents, there's many places where it says additional songs. So additional songs for Nityananda Prabhu, additional songs for, like this, like that. And so that you, because sometimes the songs will fit into multiple categories. All of the songs and stotras in the later chapters, apart from the Arti Kirtans, may also be sung in regular Kirtan sessions. To find where a song might fit, simply consider which of the following broad tattvas it relates to, and then place it in this natural sequence. Begin with Guru Tattva and Vaishnava Tattva, move to Pancha Tattva and Gaura Tattva, and conclude with Radha Krishna Tattva. Once the kirtan session has progressed to singing songs in a later category, it does not generally return to an earlier category. For example, one does not generally go from Radha Krishna Tattva back to Gaura Tattva. When deciding what to sing next, it is also important to consider the mood of the song that has just been sung. For instance, it may feel jarring to move directly from a sober prayer of separation to a light, playful Hindi song. With time and experience, one naturally develops a feel for how to arrange the order of kirtans in a harmonious way. Was that all clear? Hopefully that will be helpful for people just to know how to choose songs when they're in bhajans. Now, notes on the translations. To aid the reader's understanding of the original Sanskrit and Bengali words, the translations follow the word order of the original verses as closely as possible. This approach may also assist with memorizing the verses. Any additional words in the translation not present in the original text are enclosed in square brackets or parentheses. Square brackets indicate additions by the editors. Parentheses are used to 1. Define a word, or 2. Supply additions from the translations and commentaries of Gaudiya Acharyas. So that's the main thing. Whenever you see the rounded brackets, then that means from our Acharyas, and when you see squared brackets, it means from us, from like the translators and editors. Now, the guide to pronunciation. The main diacritic markings used in this book are pronounced as follows. A as in father, E as in sea, U as in boot, Ri as in ri, Ta as in train, D as in drain, Ra as in the American pronunciation of the double T in butter. I've read that in when there's a book, Teach Yourself Bengali by William Radice, because this sounds, the D with the little thing under it, like the little that you see in the songbook, that doesn't actually exist in like any of our alphabets, like any, doesn't matter which dialect of English, and probably not in most Western dialects. And so it's like that butter, 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 arda, arda, arda. So it's not a da, it's not a ra, it's like in between a da and a ra. It's arda, 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 arda. So butter, butter, butter. Anyhow, okay. And then the sha and sha as in the sha and ship, and cha as in chip. I think these are the main ones that aren't obvious. The tilde, the little squiggly line above long vowels, indicates the sound should be nasal. This is done by diverting some of the breath to the nose. Definitely can't figure out how to do that just from reading, because then people will try to breathe out of their nose while making a vowel sound. That'd be really hard. I was trying to do it the other day. But anyways, yeah, the nasalized vowel sound. Please refer to the pronunciation guide at the end of the book for more detailed explanations of the sounds used in Bengali, Hindi, and Sanskrit. And yeah, one thing though is like you really need to make videos. You need to hear it and see it. You can't really understand it from words. So that's something I want to work on, like making a pronunciation guide thing. Okay, now guide to the meters. The Bengali and Sanskrit meters for each song are noted in gray at the bottom of the page. Yeah, I have it throughout the whole songbook. At the very bottom of the page, I have a little, oh, thank you, Queen B. I have a little, actually, I'll just show you an example here. Let's look, what is here? Okay, here's a Krishna chapter. So at the bottom of the page, see, I give the meter. So this is the meter Sraddhara. Na 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 na. I also want to make videos for this so that you can understand this notation. But the easiest way to understand it is if you look at this and compare it to a song that you're already familiar with, like Purvashtakam or something, and then you start to see, okay, you start to get familiar with the system of the short and long syllables. And I also have it for the Bengali syllables for Bengali songs. Like, it's at the end of every song for the page. Like, let's go to a Bengali song. Oh, whoops, I didn't add it for the Bengali songs yet. I still need to do that. Anyways, you have it for the Sanskrit things. Like that. See, here is the Krishna Chandrashtakam. Oh, whoops. I didn't add everything yet. Anyways, this is the Krishna chapter, but you get the idea. It's at the bottom of the page like this. Shardula Prakritam. So then you can just look at the bottom of the page and then you know how to sing it. So, so in Sanskrit verse, the various meters, in Sanskrit verse, the various meters follow fixed patterns of long and short syllables. For example, Shri Guru Vashtakam is in the Upajati meter, in which the long and short syllables fall into the following pattern. So, na 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 na, like that. So the little U thing denotes short syllables. The M dash denotes long syllables, and the little O indicates either a short or long syllable. And the forward slash marks a brief pause. By comparing familiar songs to this notation, you can become familiar with the system of Sanskrit meters and then grasp the meters of other stotras more readily. Bengali songs do not distinguish between long and short syllables, so we have only given a syllable count. For more information on this, see the meter guide at the back of the book. Now we're at the end. The transcendental words that come from the hearts of exalted Vaishnavas are only revealed by the mercy of Sri Guru and the authors, who transcend all worldly limitations. We humbly submit this English translation of Sri Gauriya Gitigucha into the lotus hands of our beloved Srila Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtratarashata Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj, and beg forgiveness from him and our esteemed readers for any error it may contain. Aspiring to serve Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, the Gauriya Gitigucha Publishing Team. 5th September 2025, the 185th appearance date of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So that's the date I'm aiming to get this book to the printers. 5th September, just like less than a couple weeks away. Oh my God, it's so overwhelming. But yeah. So now I'm gonna just look at the feedback that everybody gave. I see Vidyalala say, it's beautiful, and I love how the source and significance of kirtan to the Gaudiyas was first introduced, and then the acharyas were introduced in chronological order along with their contributions. Cool, thank you. And I'll have, as I said, I'll have the images of them going up on the side of the text. And then Rukmini Didi, yeah, she said, very clear, thank you for the arrangements. Looking forward to this edition. Then Vidyalala Didi says, the sequence and mood for the songs are very helpful, Prabhu. Really appreciate all the effort and dedication you put into this edition. Can't wait to get a copy once it's published. You should make a little video to demonstrate the pronunciation and meters, and you can add the links to the book. Yes, that's what I want to do. I actually, in this book, I have tons of links. Oh my God, it's 8:13. Sorry, I didn't realize the time. Whoa. Anyway, yeah, anyways, so yeah, I have links all throughout the book for with guides and also for extra things. Maybe one day, maybe like when we send it to the printers or before then, I can go through you and give you a little tour of the songbook. That'd be fun. I have to see if I'm allowed to do that though. But yeah. All right, so if anybody has any feedback for me or like any things that they think I should take out or things that weren't clear or things that I should add, can just send me a message on Messenger or WhatsApp or wherever you can reach me. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. I'll just finish with a short dry one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Varanmohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swapasha Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Popa Gopikan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrindadevi Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, all of his God brothers, all the associates of Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vrindai Kesari Vai, Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Pradipedi Satyavataya Namo Namaha, Pancha Kalpataru Kesha Kripa Sandhu Praevacha Putitana Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow to either read Bhadranahasya or continue reading from this book. We'll see. All right, Dandavat pranams, Nanda Nandan Prabhu, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, and on YouTube and Facebook, who is all there. Ganga Mataji, Manjari Didi, Vidyalala Didi, Rukmini Didi, and many other devotees who are watching now. And also devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Devati Didi, Jai Prabhu, and Krishna Rose, and everybody else. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream for today? Okay, see you.